This upcoming 2024 free agency class may not be the most star-studded free agency in recent years, but it has still got a ton of talented players, including all-star Paul George and Knicks center Isaiah Hartenstein, who's about to receive a payday. But in this video, I'm going to be going over the players that will be entering free agency this offseason, but severely underperformed at the end of the year or the playoffs, which completely diminished their value. All NBA players obviously try and perform as best as possible for not only the team, but for themselves and their contracts as well. But when it's the final year of their contract and they know they're going to be playing for a new one next season, you know the players are feeling the pressure to perform even more. But these players I'm about to list just couldn't handle the pressure at the wrong time of the season and quite frankly, fumbled the bag. Cue the intro. Our first player on this list, Buddy Hield. Hield over the past few years in the NBA has been known to be one of the most lethal three-point shooters, as he's averaged over 7.5 attempts behind the three-point line for his career, and over 10 a game in 2021 with the Sacramento Kings. However, this past 2023-24 season for Hield was a bit of a down year. He started the year in Indiana and averaged just 12 points per game, which was the lowest for him since his rookie year back in 2017. But he also struggled from the field as well, which resulted in him coming off the bench for parts of the season. He eventually got traded to the Sixers in the middle of the year, and this trade for Philly and Hield looked amazing on paper, as Hield was exactly what Philly was looking for, a high-volume three-point shooter. Hield finished off the regular season with Philly putting up around the same averages with Indiana, averaging 12 points and shooting just under 40% from deep on just under 7 attempts per game. But when the playoffs arrived, Buddy Hield was nowhere to be found, scoring just 2 points in the first 3 games combined in the first round series against the New York Knicks. He did drop 20 points though in Game 6 after not even playing Games 4 and 5 due to his poor performance, but his Game 6 heroics weren't enough as the Sixers lost that game and the series. And even though Hield did have a good final game heading into free agency, his lack of defense and consistency is a huge red flag that his elite shooting used to make up for. But with his shooting averages going downhill the past couple seasons, especially this last one, Buddy really did shoot himself in the foot heading into free agency. He did make $20 million this past season, but his value is definitely going to be down from that after these playoffs. Now on to his Sixer teammate, Tobias Harris. In the 2019 offseason, the Sixers had 2 of their star players heading into free agency, Jimmy Butler and Tobias Harris. The Sixers only had enough to afford keeping one of them, and the Sixers decided to go with Tobias Harris over Jimmy Butler. Looking back at this now 5 years later, I think we can all agree that the Sixers made the wrong choice. Not that Tobias Harris is a bad player, as he averaged 17 points and 6 boards per game during his 5.5 years with the Sixers, but Jimmy, since leaving Philly, has made multiple All-Star and Finals appearances, plus his historic 2023 playoff run. But back to Tobias. Even though he did put up pretty good averages, it always felt like he was putting up empty stats, as he rarely showed up in games where they needed him most. And this was clearly evident in what could have been his last game in a Sixers uniform. In Game 6 against the Knicks, Tobias played 29 minutes and only took 2 field goal attempts and scored a total of 0 points. Tobias Harris literally could not have chosen a worse game to have the worst game of his career, as he just came off making $40 million this past season, and he will probably only be making around half of that next season. It's unfortunate for him as well, because similar to Buddy Hield, he didn't have that bad of a regular season, but we all know players are judged based off their latest performances, and Tobias Harris did not perform well at all in the 2024 playoffs, putting up just 9 points and 7 boards with an average of 36 minutes per game. Now our third and final player, Klay Thompson. As we all know, Klay Thompson has been a staple to this Warriors organization for over a decade now, and was a major piece in them winning 4 championships over that time. Even after he suffered a torn ACL and a torn Achilles, which led to him missing the entire 2020 and 2021 season, he came back and was still a big piece in their 2022 championship run. But the 4-time champion and future Hall of Famer did not have the best 2023-24 season. Klay has always been a lights-out shooter, as he's literally the second half of the Splash Bros. But this past season, he shot just 38% from deep, which is not bad by any means. But Klay has shot above 40% from deep every year of his career besides the 2022 season when he came back from injury. And Klay post-injury is not the same all-defensive defender he used to be, and understandably so with all those injuries he faced. But the reason Klay is on this list is because the Warriors were still trying to contend with the little bit of star power they still had remaining. But in the play-in game this year against the Sacramento Kings, Klay was an absolute no-show, and was quite frankly a liability on the court. Klay didn't agree on an extension all season as he wanted to up his value, as the Warriors were offering him around $20 million a season, but Klay scored a total of 0 points on 0 of 10 from the field in 31 minutes, in what could have been his final game with the Warriors. Although it's not a guarantee, most people believe that Klay wants to stay with the Warriors, and rightfully so, as he's going to be remembered in that franchise for eternity and will probably get a statue outside their arena one day. But Klay didn't do himself any favors with his performance in the play-in game this year. I'm sure other teams are going to offer Klay Thompson a decent contract, but they will definitely have to throw a lot of money his way if they want to get him out of Golden State. Klay just came off of making $43 million this past season, and I'm guessing that he will re-sign with the Warriors, around the range of $20 million. But I wouldn't be surprised if some other teams offer him around $25-30 million a season, simply because of his name, and he can still have vintage Klay Thompson moments at times. But I believe Klay is going to stay in Golden State, as it only seems right that he finishes off his career where he won 4 championships and where this dynasty all started. Thank you guys if you made it to the end of this video. If you like this video and want to see more content just like this one, drop a like and subscribe to the channel for new videos every week. Thank you guys, and I will see you in the next one.